Welcome to Coffee with Alain. I'm going live today. I am back home. I'm not down in the office because I have Rocky on my lap and he's pretty comfortable and happy that we are home. So I'm not going anywhere right now, letting him sit on the lap. His friend Pepsi is over there beside me as well. So I have the two dogs. I got Rocky and I have his friend Pepsi who's going to be with us for a couple days. So doing the coffee with Alan from here. Got my cup of coffee actually sitting on the table. So a day late getting home. It's the joys of traveling these days. I mean, when we were in Orlando yesterday, the Delta thing, a whole bunch of delays. And we got the notice early in the morning. We're eating breakfast, got a text saying, your flight's delayed 40 minutes. I'm like, ugh, because that only left us 31 minutes from landing till taking off. And we were like in row 20 or so. And it wanted us to go from a long way in the Minneapolis airport. We were landing in D, which is a little one over by, the McDonald's, if you're familiar. And then you have to go all through the shopping area and then down F, and we're at the very end of F and past the Chick-fil-A and stuff. So it's going to be a long walk, and getting off the plane and doing all that 31 minutes. So we were a little bit worried, but we're going to do our best. And then we're at the Orlando airport and get another text. Now it's delayed, and we have 12 minutes from when it lands to when our next flight takes off. Just no way it's going to happen. And so I called the customer support to see what we could do. They automatically, then while I was on the phone, I got a text saying they changed our flights and we were going to be getting home after midnight tonight. And so while I'm on the phone call, she's checking different ways. Said, well, if we get you to Minneapolis, I said, if we have to stay in Minneapolis, go home tomorrow. I mean, I guess that's what we have to do. She's like, I can't get you home tomorrow from Minneapolis. She goes, I think if I can get you to Salt Lake, I could get you home tomorrow at a 10 o'clock flight and get you home at around noon. And that's 12 hours earlier than getting home after midnight tonight. So I said, yeah, we'll do that. And so put us on that later flight. And then that flight got delayed an hour. And so it was almost 8 o'clock when we left Orlando. And we had gotten there around 11. So we spent 9 hours in the Orlando airport, finally left at 8 o'clock. We got to Salt Lake at 11. Then we were able to check into a hotel and so forth. And then got a few hours sleep and had to get up and head back to the airport this morning. And that flight was on time and we caught it and we got home. So that's the joys of traveling these days. And you just got to be flexible. But one of the things to do is when stuff like that happens, get on with the customer service and get on with those things quick as you can, because those flights fill up and then you're stuck for a day or longer or more, especially, holiday, everybody coming home, leaving stuff for New Year's and after Christmas, pretty busy. So you want to get on that stuff quick when there are those kind of delays or cancellations, so you make sure you get a seat. With three of us, it was a little tougher. If would have been flying alone, I could have gotten home last night, but they didn't have three spots for all three of us. And so that's why we got home today. So it's important to check that. Another thing, when I was at the airport yesterday, I said, well, can we get a voucher for dinner? They're like, well, no, our system hasn't been there because it wasn't a 4-hour delay. I said, yeah, but you just changed us on another flight and it's going to be over 4 hours by the time we leave. I mean, like I said, we were at the airport 9 hours yesterday and I was having difficulty. So then I got on the texted and such, and with the support through Delta. And with that person texting, I was able to book the hotel in Salt Lake, and they sent me a text with a link to open, and I had my choice of which hotels. And so, there was like 4 or 5 hotels that we could choose. So we chose the hotel we wanted, and it gave us the vouchers for dinner. And so, I mean, we got $72 for the three of us, and that almost covered dinner. I had to put a tiny little bit plus a tip on the credit card, but it covered dinner. And then this morning, well, I tried, I went at the hotel before we headed to the airport. I did the chat, and they said, no, we can't give you that voucher. You have to get it at the airport. So, but when we got to the airport, I went up to the counter there, and she gave me a $72 voucher for breakfast, which almost covered breakfast. I mean, we each ordered something nice, and daughter ordered a drink, and I had an orange juice, and my wife only had water, and it came to like $74. So paid a couple dollars plus the tip on the credit card. But we did get the $72 of vouchers last night. Got the 72 vouchers this morning for breakfast. Almost covered dinner and breakfast at airports, and they covered the hotel room. And the hotel had a shuttle back and forth. It was it was a double tree that was close to the airport, so we had that shuttle. So it didn't cost us much. I mean, they did reimburse us, the vouchers in the hotel and so forth. Little inconvenient getting home today instead of yesterday, but it is what it is. But just be aware that sometimes if you can't get help in person, go to the text and the chat versions and the telephone of the support. And sometimes you can't get there, you will get it at the airport with those people. We got it from both. So don't give up asking just because if one doesn't give you a voucher and take care of you, maybe go a different channel. So that's just a little tip for when you're traveling of how you can, deal with stuff. I tell you, it's good to be home. I said Rocky's he doesn't want me to move. That's why we're doing the coffee with Alain here instead of at the office. And good to be home with my buddy. Daughter's asleep. Wife's taking a little break too. It was a long, long trip. We're all pretty tired. I'm gonna go see Jack Black's Anaconda a little bit later this evening. Wife and daughter don't want to see that. They don't like snakes, but it looks funny, so I think I'm gonna just take a little bit of time and go over to the theater and see that this evening. Hope everybody has a safe New Year's Eve. I'll be back tomorrow to wish everybody a happy new year. But if you're gonna party tonight, gonna celebrate, do it safely. Use some common sense. Don't drink and drive. Be safe. Enjoy your New Year's Eve. We'll see you tomorrow with 2026. Can you believe it?